Hello my friends, thanks for tuning in for another video. My name is Ian with Out of This World Reader, and today's video is going to be the reading plans for the new year 2022. I am ready for it. I don't know about you, but I've been ready for 2022 for some time now, and I've got just a lot of ideas and plans for the channel, as well as with the Biblionauts to come, like with the book club picks, series read along, and everything going on. So I think without further ado, we need to just hop in and discuss everything that's going to be going on here on the channel in the new year. First up, I'll go over the book club picks for the first 3 months of the year. I think I'm going to do this for the kind of remainder of the year, but I think this is going to be the best way to kind of get in new books. That way I just don't have anything set in stone, and new books can be recommended by people who join the Biblionauts, and those who watch the videos, they can recommend books for the book club. So I'll do January, February, and then March, and then we'll decide another 3. The first pick of the year, January, is going to be a fun one, I think, and that is going to be Iron Widow. And I've heard a lot about this lately just around BookTube, and I got this in a book box a while ago, and I'm really excited to pick this up. I believe this is a YA sci-fi, and in here there's like these giant robots that are controlled by a male and female pair, and together they have to kind of work together to control these chrysalises to fight giant monsters. And a lot of times the female kind of pilot is sacrificed because the male kind of uses their powers and kind of uses them all up, and then they're just kind of concubines. They're kind of sent to train and then become just sacrifices. And our main perspective, her sister died, and she is going to be joining as a pilot. She volunteers as a concubine pilot to kind of get revenge on her sister's killers. But then she is paired with the most strongest and controversial pilot, Lee. But I've heard that there's like a lot of different kind of aspects of just pure rage, similar to kind of the Poppy War. That's one thing that I saw in the comparison, was it was like the Poppy War with mixed with like the Pacific Rim, and I loved Pacific Rim, so I'm really excited for this in the month of January. And then in February we have All of Us Are Villains, and this is a new release that I believe came out in November, and it has got a little bit of a magical competition to the death. And when I saw that, I immediately knew that I needed to read it, so I thought it would be perfect to pick it up as a book club pick. But in here, every generation, 7 families kind of come together and they name a champion to fight to the death in this remote village kind of competition to control just a magical, I believe, like powers or kind of well that they have within. And if you win, then the whole family kind of gets to control. And I believe that one family's kind of controlled it for the while, and now this competition is kind of kicked off because it's become a worldwide phenomenon, and all the different kind of family champions are kind of going about killing each other with some magic. But the winner gets exclusive control to this magical well, which is said to be like the most powerful kind of resource in the world. So it almost sounds like the Hunger Games kind of mixed with like a little bit of magic, and I really enjoyed the kind of concept of Hunger Games and just fighting to the death. But if you throw in a little magic, something special about that. So that is going to be the pick for February. And the book for March is going to be The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, and this is a new release that comes out at the end of February, so I thought in March it'd be perfect. That way a lot of people can get their hands on a copy, and we can kind of get together and see what we think about this new release. But this one is really interesting because in here we follow Mina, who lives in this home world that is kind of ravaged by deadly sea kind of storms and tsunamis and everything, and there's just been constant wars ravaged and kind of ensued to kind of fight over the remaining resources. But then Mina's people believe that if they sacrifice the fairest maiden to the sea god, that he will kind of take pity on them and kind of stop the storms and bring peace once again to their homeland. But Mina actually sacrifices herself to be the sea god's new bride, and she's taken under the sea, and there she discovers, and with some help, that she needs to awaken the sea god. So I've always loved the ocean, and I've never kind of experienced anything with gods and everything within the ocean besides kind of Greek mythology, but a whole world kind of centered under the ocean. I thought that would be so cool, but I'm really excited for that, and that's going to be the final book for the first 3 months of the new year. The Biblionauts will also be starting a new series read-along in the month of January. It'll go January, February, March for 3 books of the trilogy, and that is The Poppy War. I've seen it everywhere. Everyone raves about it, that it's one of the best kind of fantasy books and trilogies around. It's very gruesome, and I'm really excited to finally read it. And all the books are already out, so we don't have to wait for any new releases. We can just binge the whole series in the first 3 months. I have a feeling, though, that from what I've heard from a lot of other booktubers and stuff, that I'm going to love it. And this last kind of thing that I'll be adding to the Biblionauts on the Discord is kind of this quest for the diamonds in the rough. I've been doing kind of little reading vlogs about it, but I thought it would be interesting to kind of post the pics out, and then along with me you can read, and I'll still do those vlogs and everything, and then you can pick up these books should you choose and help me determine whether these are a diamond in the rough or not. So I picked 3 books for the 3 first months, and the first one for January is going to be There Will Come a Darkness. But in here, for generations, the 7 prophets kind of united lands, ending wars, kind of just guiding everything until about 100 years ago when they just magically disappeared. But when they disappeared, they left behind a final prophecy that said that the age of darkness is fast approaching, and there will be a birth of a new prophet, and that new prophet can either be what brings their kind of saving grace or destruction. And 5 souls are set on a collision course: a prince exiled from his kingdom, a ruthless killer known as Pale Hand, a once faithful leader torn between his duty and his heart, a reckless gambler with the power to find anything or anyone, and a dying girl on the verge of giving up. So you can kind of see how similar that sounds to Six of Crows if you read that, kind of just the crew and all of them. So I'm really excited for this, and I haven't heard anything about it, so I think this will just be perfect for one of the quests. And then the pick for February is Invictus by Ryan Groudon. I read Wolf by Wolf, and I think it's Blood for Blood. It's her duology, and I really enjoyed that kind of different take on just a spin of an alternate kind of end to World War II with a kind of race aspect. I love that, and so I'll be going into this blind because of just how much I love that other one. But I have a feeling that this is it's said to be kind of time travel and kind of a race against time, and that's always one of my favorite kind of things to read. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. And the final one for March is going to be Star Daughter, and I haven't heard this anywhere, but I just love this cover. It is absolutely stunning. And just like the whole plot sounds really interesting, nothing I've experienced before. And Sheetal is kind of, her mother is a goddess of the stars, and she has to return back to the heavens, and she leaves Sheetal back by herself, kind of with her father. But on her 17th birthday, the call from the kind of heavens has been too great, and she can't control it, and she actually kind of sends out a burst of light that actually hurts her father, and it requires her to kind of go back to the heavens and answer their calls. So hearing those kind of calls, she has no other choice but kind of return back to the heavens, or not return back because she's never been. So she's going to the heavens for the first time, I believe. And then once she gets there, she discovers that her celestial family kind of wants her to act as the human champion in this new kind of competition that's coming up to decide which family kind of controls the heavens. And she's thrust into the competition, and she discovers that there's a lot of darkness about the stars past and everything going on. And there's also some forces kind of going on in the background trying to shut the gates of the heavens forever. I'm just really excited for how the kind of competition aspect will play into a role, and just like the stars and constellations and heavens and everything like that. I find that sounds so interesting, and I'm really excited to see if this is a diamond in the rough. And the last thing that I'll be adding in the new year is going to be kind of like a monthly writing prompt, or maybe like a 2-month writing prompt, or at the beginning of each month and kind of my TBRs, I'll post a writing prompt in kind of on the channel and then on the Discord as well. And then you can respond in a kind of short response. And then in the Discord, you can vote on just your winner of just everybody's kind of submissions. And then I will read the final or the winner at the end, and maybe just a dedicated video or in a wrap up, or just we'll see where it goes. But I'm really excited for that. I've always wanted to do something like that, and there'll be kind of like little cheesy kind of writing prompts out of kind of books that I've had, but I will also leave it open for any writing prompts that you suggest that you want to do, but they'll have kind of little challenges within them. And I'm really excited to see what everyone kind of produces. And I will also compete as well. But those are all the kind of new reading plans that I have for the channel. I'm really excited to see what the new year brings. I've got a lot of books on my TBR that I want to pick up. A lot of new releases. I think that's going to be the next video that comes out, is my most anticipated releases for the new year. So be on the lookout for that soon. But that is going to be all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope you join in with the Biblionauts in these book club picks. Let me know some suggestions for the other months after March. Also, what are your plans for the new year? Do you have any books that you have been dying to add to your TBR? But that is going to be all for me, and now I'm going to switch it and hand it over to Ellie, who first wishes you to have a splendid day, but she also says that adventure is out there. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.